we are back to Jet, Chapter 4 of Unplugged. Question: how many Pathfinders does it take to rescue a treed pedal boat? Answer: all of them. Even the great Nimbus himself joins the team to come and pull me and the itchy kid out of that bush. The Oasis has a motorized launch that they have to use to get us to the opposite bank. Not that we made it very far. Considering how ticked off everybody should be, the Pathfinders are being surprisingly cool about it. They're even making excuses for us, saying the current is extra strong today and blah, blah, blah. Janelle actually apologizes for putting me at risk. I tell them outright, "You didn't put me at risk. I did it on purpose." Tyrell snickers a little at that one. The kid is growing on me. He's one of the few people around here with a sense of humor. Too bad I'm not joking. Getting myself bounced from the Swamp Gas Hilton isn't a joke. It's a sacred quest. Look, this is 100% on me. What can I say? I'm a bad person. I do this kind of thing all the time. Totally understand if you have to kick me out. The blame is ours, Nimbus insists. We're Pathfinders. If you haven't found a place for wellness within you, it's because we have not yet shown you the path. I may be Silicon Valley's #1 spoiled brat, but I know right then and there I'm out of my league. I could build an atomic bomb and blow the Oasis off the face of the earth, and Nimbus would find a way to pin it on plutonium and give me a free pass. I'm never going to get myself booted out of here. It's just not possible. The fix is in. The more awful you behave, the more it proves you need wellness. And if you're good, they just claim the wellness is working. It's lose-lose. I'm still in trouble though, right? I ask hopefully. For each of us, the road to becoming whole takes different turns, Nimbus informs me. But there is no trouble here. The only hole I want anything to do with is a really, really deep, and the other one comes out in California. At least Matt reacts like a normal person. The minute we're back in our cottage, he blows his stack at me. It's almost a relief to get yelled at. What's the matter with you, Jet? Bad enough you broke every rule in the book, but you could have wound up drowning or cracking your head open on that rock. And not just you. You had to drag that poor innocent kid into danger with you. A kid whose only crime was to try and make friends. I deserve to be punished, I agree. Maybe you should take away something that's important to me. My phone, my tablet, my laptop. Oh wait, someone already did that. How about my freedom? Nope, that's gone too. I guess you'll just have to send me to bed without any dinner. Please? I add, I saw the dining hall menu. It's beet casserole tonight. Poor you, Matt says sarcastically. It must be really hard to be so much smarter than everyone else, but you still have to put up with the rest of us. Yeah, well, I haven't come up with a way out of here yet, so I'm not that smart, am I? He sighs. You know what your problem is, Jet? It's always all about you. When it rains, does it even cross your mind that everyone else gets wet too? All these terrible things that are happening to you, the food, the no technology, the wellness stuff. Do you even notice that I'm right here next to you? I couldn't call up your old man even if I wanted to. I've got no phone either. I'm stranded here, the same as you. Matt has a point. That was probably Vlad's plan all along. My dad may be an epic jerk, but no one can say he isn't a genius. If he sent me to some rich kid Club Med sleepaway camp, he'd have to listen to me complain all summer. I'll bet he thought he died and went to heaven when that Google guy told him about this place. Not only am I physically out of his hair, I'm out of his hair virtually too. Here, the only way to communicate with the outside world is by snail mail, and Vlad is famous for his policy of never reading anything written on dead trees. Well, congrats, Dad. You've got me on the ropes, but the fight isn't over yet. I have a few tricks of my own up my sleeve. Matt snores. I can hear it through the thin walls in our 2-bedroom cottage. Evangeline, the nutrition pathfinder, says that a diet rich in tofu and soy makes you a better sleeper. I don't know if it's the tofu, but you couldn't wake Matt up with a brass band. The first 3 nights I complained about it. I'm not complaining anymore. Matt's sawing logs deep in dreamland as I ease open the front door and slip out into the night. I'm half expecting a wailing alarm as I'm caught in the blaze of a searchlight. But no, the Oasis is deserted. Maybe tofu really does make you sleep. There was enough of it in the beet casserole to knock out any army. I steal across the compound of the cottages past the dining hall and the meditation building. It's after 2 a.m., but it's still hot and the humidity is at least 1,000,000%. The mosquitoes are the size of dive bombers, which at least makes it easy to swat at them. There's a faint smell of sulfur on the non-existent breeze, which I can make out in the bubbling of the bath. I haven't been there since that first morning when I cannonballed and scalded myself to death. Even in the sweltering darkness, I can see the steam cloud hovering over the hot springs. I sidle up to the rocks, squat down, and dip my pinky into the churning water. God bless America. It's like sticking my finger in a boiling kettle. How do old people survive it? Much less love it. I keep walking. The welcome center is dead ahead at the foot of the road and we came in on. I hear a purring sound and duck behind a bush. Sure enough, there's an electric golf cart moving away from the building and starting on a path that circles the property. I recognize the driver. Another buddy. The word, not the name. That's the official title of everybody who works here that's not a full Pathfinder. Buddies and Pathfinders. And suckers, meaning us, the guests. I watch the buddy behind the wheel of the cart. He's the closest thing I've seen to a guard in this place. I was starting to think that the security was considered anti-wellness or unwhole or whatever. I stay hidden until the vehicle putt-putts along the path and disappears into the trees. Then I scamper across the road and up onto the wooden porch of the Welcome Center. From there, it's easy to lift a window and ease myself inside. I vault the counter and head straight for the storage closet where Ivory stashed my electronics when we first checked in. I try the knob. Locked. Figures. The Pathfinders talk a good game about being honest and trusting and whole, but what's the first thing you run into? A locked door. It's no problem for me, though. I grew up in a place with a lot more security than this dump, and believe me, Vlad is not the trusting type when it comes to anybody else getting their grubby hands on his hard-earned stuff. Our place in California is full of locked storerooms, safes, secret compartments, and trapdoors, guarded by every high-tech gizmo money can buy or Vlad can invent. What do you think my hobby has been these past 12 years? I can get into any one of them in 60 seconds. My own mother doesn't know that there's a false back in her walk-in closet, and the hermetically sealed space behind it holds a canvas bag of solid gold South African Krugerrands and an actual Rembrandt her husband hasn't gotten around to hanging up yet. It's not like TV, where the hero knows how to pick a lock with a paperclip, but give me 2 paperclips and I can bust into Fort Knox. I'm inside in a heartbeat, and what I see nearly stops my heart. Do you know how much technology 85 Oasis guests have to surrender for the privileged boiling of their butts and subsisting on a plant-based diet? The San Francisco Fuego store would die of jealousy if they all saw this stock. The urge to throw it on the floor and roll around in it is almost overwhelming. No, Jet. Down, boy. I find my own phone, lock the closet again, climb back out the window. It's tough to leave my laptop, tablet, and watch in tech jail, but I have to stick to the plan. The less I take, the smaller the chance that anyone's going to notice something's missing. The golf cart is just emerging from the woods, so I flatten myself to the ground until the coast is clear. Turns out there are even more bugs in the grass than there are in the air, and most of them think the inside of my pant leg is a happening place to hang out. Eventually, after some high-energy dancing, I'm as bug-free as I'm ever going to be, and I slink back into the guest compound. I don't go back to the cottage, not yet. I don't want anyone in the other cottage to hear me. I steal all the way over to the lake and sit down at a picnic table. It's 2:30 in the morning, but that's only half past midnight in California. I've got about 1/millionth of a bar of cell service, but my F-phone's special chip ties into the satellite network, so I'm good to go. No point in calling Mom. She's totally wrapped up in her charity work for orthodontics without borders, fixing overbites in third world. It's a big cheese or nobody. I punch in my father's private number. He answers on the 6th ring in a sleepy voice. Jet, you okay? Hi, Dad. Sorry to wake you. Despite my fearless exterior, I don't have the guts to call my father Vlad. Nobody does. How's everything at home? My father is so smart that I can almost hear him making the connections 2,000 miles away. Me calling in the middle of the night from no phone land where he exiled me for 6-week sentence. Forget it, Jet. You're not coming home. If you could see this place, you wouldn't say that, I wheedle. At least you wouldn't mean it. I mean everything I say. He's fully awake now, and that's not so good for me. Vlad has his confidence that's really frustrating. He knows he's right. Even when he's wrong, he's right. And you know where that leaves me? Oh, he's wrong. How are you calling me? He demands. You're not supposed to have a phone. Just as I suspected. Not only did he banish me here, he knew exactly how bad it was going to be. That was probably the number one selling point. I tried taking the responsibility approach. I get that I screwed up and I have to go someplace, just not this place. I don't care so much for myself, but it's not fair to Matt. He'll starve. Plus, he could be making a breakthrough right now if he was at work. Think of the company. I'm the company. That's classic Vlad. He speaks in declarative sentences, short and to the point. The next one is, you're staying put. Then, this conversation is over. But Dad, don't even think of bothering your mother with this. She's in Honduras. I'll call you in a month and a half. Click. By the time I take the phone from my ear and set it down on the picnic table, I bet he's fast asleep again with completely clear conscience. I sit there for a full 10 minutes waiting for the roaring in my ears to go down. I know I'm no angel, and there are times I feel bad for my folks. It can't be easy to parent me. Then there are moments like this, when it's pretty obvious that Vlad is getting exactly what he deserves in the son department. Anyway, tonight hasn't been a total loss. I had no phone before, and now I have one. After all, a phone is more than just a toy. Now I'm connected. Maybe Vlad won't let me rejoin the world, but that doesn't mean I'm out of options. I can bring the world here thanks to the best thing any kid could possibly have. A credit card with the name Baranarv on it. Fertilizer? Meat fan.